Okay. I'd like to announce that a quorum is present. The meeting is duly called, and notice of the meeting has been posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act. The following board members are in attendance: Tracy Miller, Allison Lasan, Catherine Sells, Dr. Buddy Bonner, Christy Hassett, Jenny Prosnick, and Sheila Taylor. I'll now read the order canvassing the May 6, 2023 Board of Trustees election. Order declaring the results of the election. The State of Texas, Lewisville Independent School District, County of Denton. On this, the 15th day of May 2023, the Board of Trustees of the Lewisville Independent School District convened in regular session with the following members present, to wit: Dr. Buddy Bonner, member; Christy Hassett, member; Allison Lasan, Vice President; Tracy Scott Miller, President; Jenny Prosnick, member; Catherine Sells, Secretary; Sheila Taylor, member. And all said members were present in constituting a quorum, and among other proceedings had by said Board of Trustees were the following. There came to be heard the returns of the trustee election held on May 6th of May 2023 for the purpose of electing 2 members to the Board of Trustees, one for place 6 and one for place 7. And said returns of the trustee election having been duly canvassed by the Board of Trustees, and there being cast at said election the following votes. For place 6, a total of 16,491 votes were cast, with each of the candidates for place 6 or for said place 6 receiving the following votes, to wit: candidate Mindy Baumgartner, votes cast in Denton County 7,364, votes cast in Tarrant County 12, combined total 7,376. Michelle Alcatab, 9,094 in Denton County. Tarrant County, 21, for a total of 9,115. Total votes cast in Denton County, 16,458. Total votes cast in Tarrant County, 16,491. For place 7, a total of 15,968 votes were cast, with each of the candidates for said place 7 receiving the following votes, to wit: Stacy L. Barker, 7,068, Denton County. Votes cast in Tarrant County, 13. Combined total, 7,081. Jacob Anderson, 4,785 in Denton County, 7 in Tarrant County. Combined total, 4,792. Ashley Jones, Denton County, 4,085. Tarrant County, 10, for a total of 4,095. Total votes cast in Denton County, 15, for place 7, 15,938. Tarrant County, 30, for a total of 15,968. And it appearing to the Board of Trustees and the said board to finding that Michelle Alcatab received the highest number of votes cast for place 6, and Stacy L. Barker received the highest number of votes for place 7. It is therefore found and declared and so ordered by the Board of Trustees of the Lewisville Independent School District that the above trustee election was duly called, that notice of the said election was duly posted, and that said election was held in accordance with the law, and that said election Michelle Alcatab and Stacy L. Barker were elected to said Board of Trustees subject to taking the oath of office. It is further found and determined that written notice of the date, place, and subject of this meeting was posted on the bulletin board used for posting notices of the meetings of the Board of Trustees in a place convenient and readily accessible to the general public. And said notice, having been so posted, remained posted for a time required by law to precede the scheduled time of said meeting. The above order being read, it was moved. Oh, okay. I'm going to stop right there until we actually make a motion. Okay. Would someone like to make a motion? Hassett.
Based on the results from Denton County and Tarrant County, I move that the board adopt the order declaring the results of the May 6, 2023 election, electing Michelle Alcatab to place 6 and Stacey L. Barker to place 7, subject to taking off the oath of office.
I'm going to second that one, actually. All right, before we take a vote, Hassett.
I don't really have a whole lot to add to what I said in April. I dearly love this district. I think the administration, staff and teachers, students, parents, everyone, they're stellar. And I can actually say that during my day job in higher ed, I get to travel around a lot, around the counties that we have around here, and visit amazing public schools that we have in our area. And LISD will always have my heart. And I appreciate the ability to serve. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hassett. It's truly been a pleasure and honor to serve the community. Appreciate the confidence of those who elected us. Appreciate the confidence of our staff and our colleagues on the board. We've become good teammates. And it's the best advice we could give. Be good teammates. There's 7 people up here that work with the superintendent to make a team of 8. And 6,500 employees under that 8th person. So we're grateful for the opportunity to serve. We're going to be in the community. We're going to be involved, and we want the best for LISD and what we've continued to help build as we put our kids through the schools as well. So with that said, all those in favor, raise your hand. Any opposed? Motion passes 7-0. The above order being read, it was moved and seconded that same do pass. Thereupon, the question being called for, with all members of said board shown present, above voting aye, except as noted below. Nays, 0. Whoops. Abstain, 0. Signed, Tracy Scott Miller, President, Board of Trustees, Lewisville Independent School District. Okay. Justice of the Peace Judge James Curbo will now administer oaths of office to the newly elected board members. Once the oaths have been administered, Mr. Miller and Ms. Hassett and myself will step down, and Vice President Alice Lasan will take over the duties of presiding officer. Congratulations to the new members. If you want to.
I've got to swear somebody in. It is a pleasure to stand before you today to administer your oath of office. So will you please raise your right hand? And will you please repeat after me? I state your name.
I, Stacy Barker,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of School Board Trustee
of School Board Trustee
for the Lewisville Independent School District
for the Lewisville Independent School District,
and will to the best of my ability
and will to the best of my ability
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws
the Constitution and laws
of the United States
of the United States
and of this state.
and of this state.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Congratulations again to Dr. Barker and Ms. Alcatab. I think we're going to take pictures, and then Ms. Lasan will take over as presiding officer. Congratulations. Best of luck.
Okay. Congratulations, everyone. Thank you, Ms. Hassett. Thank you, Mr. Miller. We will now convene in a closed session as authorized by Texas Government Code Section 551, specifically Sections 551.071, 072, 074, and 089. The time is 6:15 p.m. We will now reconvene into open session. The time is 7:29 p.m. All right, now we are going to do the Pledge of Allegiance, and we have two students from BB Owen Elementary that are going to lead us, Landon Knapp and Adeline Voduk. I may have said that wrong. I apologize. All right, let's stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Under the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
All right, while they're getting their pictures made, I have a few fun facts about Landon. He enjoys playing games with his brother after school or building cities with magnets. When he grows up, he wants to be in the Air Force. His favorite teacher is Mrs. Reese because she is my Bobcat Den teacher and she is really fun. Fun facts about Adeline. She enjoys playing games in Roblox. She wants to be a marine biologist. And her favorite teacher is Mrs. Prince because sometimes she acts funny. And so are your parents here? Can you stand if you're here?
Y'all were amazing. Give them one more big round.
All right, thank you. In accordance with LISD Board operating procedures, the Board will now entertain motions for the position of Board President. Each nomination must have a second. As a reminder, Board members may not nominate themselves, nor may they second a motion for their nomination. At this time, I will ask for nominations for Board President. Ms. Taylor?
I move to nominate Jenny Prosnick as Board President.
Dr. Bonner is a second. All those in favor, raise your hand. Motion passes 7-0. And now we're going to take a very brief recess to shuffle chairs.
Thank you, Board. Would someone like to make a motion regarding the Board Vice President?
I'd like to make that motion.
Ms. Sells?
I move to nominate Dr. Betty Bonner as Board Vice President.
Thank you, Ms. Taylor. All those in favor? Pass 7-0. Would someone like to make a motion regarding the Board Secretary?
Yes, I'd like to nominate Catherine Sells as Board Secretary.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Lasan. All those in favor? Passes 7-0. Congratulations, Ms. Sells. Wow, this is the first time I get to do this. Welcome to all. The Lewisville ISD Board of Trustees meets monthly to receive reports from staff and take action on recommendations from the superintendent. The board receives the agenda and all supporting documentation 10 days in advance of these regular meetings, which allows us to ask and receive answers to many of our questions. The board also meets in regularly scheduled workshops and work sessions where staff discussions and presentations are given for many of the agenda items. This protocol means lengthy discussions or a litany of questions on every agenda item often is not necessary. And as a board, we should have appropriate knowledge and preparation for responses regarding the content of the meeting tonight. Furthermore, we ask that those in attendance conduct themselves respectfully at all times during the meeting. Any outbursts or disruptive behaviors may result in your removal from the board meeting. Our first motion of action, would someone like to make a motion for principal at Independence Elementary?
I would like to make that motion, Ms. Prosnick. I move that the board approve Ms. Laura Shearer as principal of Independence Elementary School as recommended by administration and a personnel selection committee.
Do I have a second? And thank you, Ms. Taylor. All those in favor? Motion carries 7-0. Congratulations and welcome to the district. All right, next on the agenda, would someone like to make a motion regarding the principal at Briar Hill Middle School? Ms. Lasan?
I move that the board approve Dr. Tina Kroll as principal of Briar Hill Middle School as recommended by administration and a personnel selection committee.
Do I have a second? Thank you, Dr. Bonner. All those in favor? Raise your hand. 7-0. Welcome across the district, Ms. Kroll. Now, Chief Communications Officer Amanda Brim will now share with us the many months recognitions and student spotlights.
After a semester-long process of renewing their campus certifications, LISD STEM academies at Donald and Polzer Elementary Schools have earned their final national certification for STEM Excellence distinction from the National Institute for STEM Education. NISE is not only an organization that recognizes STEM schools, but it also certifies teachers, campuses, and school districts in STEM teaching. Using a competency-based academic, coach-led learning platform, certified educators are challenged to produce a portfolio of work that demonstrates proficiencies across 15 STEM teacher actions. In addition to the teacher certifications, the campus leadership has come together to create a new commitment to improve and engage teachers and students in STEM. Both schools have received a flag and a banner to showcase their continued commitment to STEM education at their campuses. Let's celebrate this forever dedication to bringing STEM learning to the children of LISD. Congratulations to Donald and Polzer STEM Academies.
Hi, I'm Kim Moore. I'm the STEM administrator for LISD, and I wanted to introduce our guests from the National Institute of STEM Education. We have Jamie Long and Beth Pesnell here. And then, of course, our principal at Donald is Heather Shorter.
Thank you so much. We've got some fantastic people from Donald here with us tonight. Our assistant principal, Nikki Robinson, third grade teacher, Aubrey Heron. Trying to look around the corner. Our receptionist, and Katrina Stewart. Our kindergarten teacher, Victoria Hamilton, and kindergarten teacher, Devin Esch. And our special education communications teacher, Gil Crossley, and secretary, Katrina Pribla. That was everybody in the line. And then we've got a couple of our awesome Donald students here with us as well.
And this is Polzer Elementary. Our principal there is Lisa Phelps.
This is all of our teachers from Polzer. We have, oh goodness, Miss Myers, Miss Cassidy, our AP, Miss Crozier, first grade, Miss Mish, pre-K, Miss Deering, second grade, Miss Haycraft, kindergarten, Miss Hurt, first grade, Mr. Swaim, fourth grade, Miss Ingram, fourth grade, Miss Reisinger, she is our last. Miss Smith, our fifth grade. I think I got everybody. Yay.
The Marcus High School girls soccer team won the UIL 2023 State 6A Championship game, defeating Fort Bend Ridge Point 2-0 on Saturday, April 15. MHS was led by a pair of goals from Bella Campos, who was named the state championship game MVP. The team, which is coached by Aaron Hebert, finished the season with a 26-1-1 record. This is the second state title for MHS girls soccer, who claimed the title in 2005. Congratulations, Marcus Soccer.
Thank you so much. My name is Erin Hebert. I'm the head soccer coach of the Marcus girls soccer team. This is our awesome group of young ladies who worked super hard this year, and we're just so thankful for all of the community support. So, thank you very much.
Soccer Coach of the Year.
For its exemplary record of leadership, service, and activities to improve the school and community, the Lewisville High School Student Council was named a 2023 National Council of Excellence by the National Student Council. The LHS Student Council has been a state award-winning sweepstakes council for 28 years and continues to serve its school and community with pride, spirit, and character. Members mentor at elementary and middle schools, volunteer for each feeder school, and they organize and work the LISD Adopt an Angel program. They were also the founding members of the LISD Kindness Program and continue to lead the way and serve others. Congratulations, LHS Student Council.
Thank you so much. My name's Allison Stamey. I'm the advisor for Student Council at Lewisville High School and the Student Activities Director. And Miss Linda Mood on the end down there, she does the curriculum, the Character Strong curriculum with the students. And Mr. Moser is feeding pizza to the Powder Puff girls tonight. So he couldn't be here, but we're always busy doing something. So I'd like to introduce this group. Also, congratulations to Marcus. The coach is my niece, my sister's daughter, so I've been cheering them on all this whole time. I do have to cheer for the red every now and then. Anyway, so one LIC. Anyway, so we have our president Faith Jonke, our vice president Aisha Gamble, treasurer Ethan Cosio, historian Christian Nagel. Our LISD liaison is Jacob Taylor. Our community service officer is Samantha Taylor. Our school store officer is Alexa Barretto. And Colby Blair. Oh, there's Amos. And I was like, where'd Amos go? And then Amos, him is our parliamentarian. And then, of course, our principal and number one supporter, Mr. Baker. So great guys. If there are parents in the audience, will you please stand up and wave if you're one of their parents? I know there's a few in here. Thank you.
Lewisville ISD fine art programs are known across the state and nation for excelling and achieving awards and earning sweepstake performance ratings. And LISD students continued the tradition of excellence this school year in multiple competitions. First up, Flower Mound High School student Sydney Tufnell claimed bronze for her costume design in the 2023 UIL State Theatrical Design Contest. Tufnell was challenged to design costumes for the play Frankenstein and writes a response to why it's a story to be told today. Due to competition requirements, her designs had to be original and could not copy any other live or animated film, stage, or broadcast versions of the play. Congratulations, Sydney.
Hi, I'm John Patterson, the technical theater teacher at Flower Mound High School. This is Sydney Tufnell. If her parents will please stand and wave.
Next, 10 LISD student artists earned awards in the Texas Art Education Association's VASE competition. To earn these awards, a panel of jurors evaluates and rates each state entry to determine if the work demonstrates originality, technical expertise, and more. Hebron 9th grade campus student Isabella Park earned a Gold Seal Award, the highest honor one can earn in VASE. Her Gold Seal piece will be exhibited in a variety of venues across the state, culminating with a Gold Seal exhibition at the annual TAEA Fall Conference. Congratulations, fine arts students.
All right, we have with us today, we have Sarah Gaska. She earned a 4. You could wave your hand so they know who you are, Sarah. There you go. And then we have Christina Lee. She also earned a 4. And then last but definitely not least is Isabella Park, and she earned a Gold Seal at State VASE. All right, if there are any parents to represent these students, if you could stand now to be recognized.
And finally, we recognize an outstanding group of students for their
Not with me. All right, and then we have, these are the Hebron High School students who also competed in VASE and earned a 4. We have Allison Kim. Raise your hand. There you go. And then we have Emeka O.
And finally, we recognize an outstanding group of students for their achievements in the Scholastic Art and Writing Awards, the nation's longest-running, most prestigious recognition program for creative students. This year, the contest received more than 260,000 entries across the nation, of which only 5% received a gold key and 9% received a silver key. LISD student artists and writers claimed 12 gold keys and 15 silver key awards at the regional and multi-state level.
Hi, I'm Nancy Lawrence from Flower Mound High School, and we are so proud to show off our 4 students that are here with the gold key for Scholastics. We have Annabelle Thomas. We have Cassidy Wong, who actually won 3 gold keys. We have Mike Vilnicek and Jamie Yoon. If the parents would please stand so we can recognize you.
All right, for Hebron Scholastic, we have with 2 gold keys, Emeka O. And then we have with a silver key and multiple honorable mentions, Allison Kim.
Hi, good evening. I'm Miriam Richard with Marcus High School, and I'm here to introduce Elsie McCoy for her recognition on her scholastic essay. So, yay, Elsie! Could Elsie's family please stand and be recognized as well? Yeah. Oh.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Tim Baxter, principal at the Colony High School. It's my privilege to introduce you to Ashton Baker. She won the Gold Key Award in the Scholastic Art Competition for her piece, painting titled 15. Let's give Ashton a big round of applause. And are Ashton's parents in the audience? If you could stand and be recognized, all right?
Lewisville ISD is proud to offer groundbreaking career and technical education opportunities to our students through 2 state-of-the-art career centers and innovative courses offered at our 5 LISD high schools. This year, more than 150 district CTE representatives have earned state or national achievements. We are excited to recognize a few of them here tonight. First up, Lewisville High School students Mehana Chita and Paulina Chavez earned bronze in the Texas Business Professionals of America competition for their podcast production. To achieve this award, they submitted a 3 to 5 minute podcast and presentation, which ultimately qualified them for the national competition. Congratulations, Mehana and Paulina.
My name is Jason Cooper. I'm the Executive Director of Career and Technical Education. So as the video said, we do have competitors from CTE from all of our main comprehensive high schools, as well as both of our career centers. So the sponsor or the principal will be introducing their students tonight, and we'll also explain why there's a dog standing on the stage tonight. So Ms. Clark will introduce her student.
Hello, so this is Magana Chinta and Paula Chavez for Business Professionals Association. They had to make a podcast that qualified them for the international competition in California. Congratulations, ladies.
Next, we recognize Hebron High School's Ashaya Shadiq, who claimed gold for her job interview at the State Family Career and Community Leaders of America competition. She received an overall score of 96 out of 100, which is one of the highest scores ever awarded in the history of the event. To prepare for the competition, Ashaya researched job opportunities that she can successfully acquire today for her future career as a psychologist.
This is Aisha Sadiq. She is our job interview winner for FCCLA for Hebron High School. We are so proud of her.
And now we recognize 4 Tech West students who competed in the State Skills USA competition. Tech West's Information Technology and Cybersecurity program earned 6 superior ratings for their computer maintenance and electronic design job exhibits. Tech West welding program brought home 3 individual first place medals, 7 chapter project first place medals, and 1 second place medal. Out of the 1,200 contest entries, Tech West welding students Jordan Bell, Nicholas Kelly, Stryker Eby, and Ethan Robertson earned overall Best of Show, a top award in the competition. Congratulations, Tech West students.
So my name is Michael DePaul from Tech West. I teach the welding program. This is Nick Kelly and Jordan Bell. They got overall Best in Show for their project at Skills USA in Texas.
Up next, we recognize Flower Mound, Hebron, Lewisville, and Marcus High School students who all together collected 30 first place medals and 31 second place medals in Texas DECA's 2023 State Career Developmental Conference. Overall, LISD had 18 students compete at the International DECA competition. To prepare for these competitions, students spend months studying, completing practice exams, researching, writing, and developing presentation visuals. Well done, DECA students.
Hi, I'm Robin Zost, and I am the DECA sponsor at Flower Mound High School. And we have, I'm going to start with Purva Patel. She got second in state. I have Victoria Redding. She got second in state. Sanchana Shanmuga. I think I said that correct. She also got second in state. We're super proud. Tina Lau, she advanced. She got first in state, and then she advanced to the international conference where she is 6th in the international world. So we're super proud. If any of their parents are here, if you would stand, please. Thank you.
Okay, this is Maganta Chinta again for Decker International. She competed in integrating marketing campaign amongst hundreds of thousands of students, and she got top 19 at Orlando. So we're very proud of Maganta. Congratulations.
Hi, I'm Kendra Day, and I'm the DEC advisor at Marcus High School. And we had 25 second place at state this year. They all weren't able to be here, but the students that are here with us today are Trevor Myrick, Abhi Narendra, why don't y'all wave or something? Yeah. Niraj Jalwalkar, I am Agarwal, Laura Makapati, Vanamanda, Jonah Reed, Shub Bhakta, Tomas Duque, and Veda Ganesan. Our first place at state, we had 11. Again, they're not all here, but we'd like to recognize Shani Raju, Shruti Adara, Hansika Kantheti, Tanisha Makam, Shreya Shreju, Vaibhav Sridhar, and Rahul Ramesh. And and at internationals this year, our first place students competed, and Ashani Raju and her partner Jenny, whose son who's not here with us, they placed 6th in the nation in their event. And could our parents please stand to be recognized? Yeah.
Next, our Flower Mound High School students brought home top honors from the Texas Association of Future Educators annual State Teach Tomorrow Summit. FMHS received 6 Gold Seal Awards in the Portfolio category and 1 Gold Seal Award in the Chapter Yearbook category. In addition, FMHS earned 4 national qualifications due to 2 judges' choice awards and scholarships for Kinley Broker, lesson planning and delivery entry, and Tina Koga, exploring education administrative careers entry. And first place award winners Katie Tuttle, Melissa Staley, and Brooke Dasher's interactive bulletin board entries. Congratulations, future educators.
Good evening. I'm Chad Russell, the principal of Flower Mound High School. And our sponsor couldn't be here this evening, so I'm going to let these young ladies introduce themselves real quick and just wave. Start right here. I want to congratulate these young ladies and really proud of them for what they're doing and exploring the field of education, and really want to encourage them on their journey moving forward. Thank you. Any parents, if they would please stand to be recognized.
Now we welcome Hebron High School students who collected 17 first place medals through third place medals and 5 top 5% placings in the Healthcare Issues exam in the Texas HOSA's 2023 State Leadership Conference. To prepare for the competition, students first compete in online testing and area competition, spending months studying, completing practice exams, researching, writing, and developing presentation visuals. Great work, Hebron.
Hello, I'm Julie Cohn, and this is Hebron HOSA. I have here Mishaba Warsi, Neil Jeju, Swaim Raf, Parth Tripathi, and Sevelin Nayuma. Thank you very much.
Are there any parents in the audience? Please stand.
Up next, Flower Mound, Hebron, and Tech East High School students all together collected 17 first place medals, 2 second place medals, and 1 third place medal in the Texas Technology Students Association's 2023 State Conference Competition. TSA is an organization that provides student members the opportunity to explore a wide variety of STEM education and career interest areas. Nicely done, students.
Hi, I'm Praveen Janardhanam. I'll be representing Flower Mound High School Tech Club. We have Cassidy, Janani, Aditi, Nikita, Shivani, Vishnu, Harish, Manya, Shresht, Ethan, and Urvi. Any parents here? Please stand up.
This year's UIL 6A Robotics State Championship competition saw 24 teams compete in a series of matches to determine the top team in Texas. Flower Mound High School Robotics team was crowned state champions, and the Marcus High School Robotics team claimed bronze. Teams also competed in the first Texas Tech Challenge State competition, where FMHS qualified for the World Championships, and longtime coach Ralph Shadilak won the prestigious Compass Award for his leadership. At the World Championships, FMHS earned the coveted Inspire Award in the Edison Division. The Inspire Award finalist at First State Championships 2023 and was a division semifinalist in robotics games. Congratulations, Flower Mound and Marcus High School robotics programs.
Okay. So in addition to the TSA names, we have Vishal, Anish, Soham, Abhi, Tanish, Boston, Vyom, and parents, please stand up to be recognized. Parents.
Esteemed board, we saved the best for last for you. From the Marcus Detectives, Anya Upalapati, Kira Young, Rowan Frazier, Anish Bijou-Nair, Tommy Gao, Dylan Legnick, Aaron Sabonian, Gio Cabal, Ella McMahon. From the Chuckleheads, Joshua Higginbotham, Jacob Patton, Thomas Faulkner, and Finn Shanahan. If there are any parents remaining, which should be all of you, stand up.
That only took 45 minutes to celebrate the greatness in LISD. Dr. Rapp, you're up next. Superintendent update.
Okay, thank you, Madam President. All right, so let's see what we got here. Okay, we are going to need the podium, I think, moved up if we could, because I have some featured guest speakers coming up. It's very exciting. I'm going to start first, of course, we'd like to update on our 3 C's, and we're going to start with connection. You know, we really have spent this spring, as we're closing out the school year, recognizing our bus drivers, our teachers, our nurses, our support staff, our counselors. I could go on and on. These pictures say just a little bit about all the recognition. And of course, several of you were with us when we had our Year 3 teacher celebration and recognized those teachers who completed 3 years in the field. And so this is where I'm going to ask my fearless guest speakers to come forward. You all, we had our Teachers of the Year travel with me to Austin to talk to our elected officials. Yeah. Yeah, they want to see you all. Come on up here.
Come support your friends.
They did an amazing job. Of course, one of the things I've enjoyed is engaging with so many different groups this year. And one of the groups that I pulled together was our Teacher of the Year winners from all previous years, starting back into the 1990s. And so I'm excited for them to talk a little bit with you about our trip to Austin. Who's going first? Mandy? Okay.
Well, good evening, board members and administrators. It is a pleasure to be here tonight to share a little about the 2 days that our team recently spent in Austin. In my classroom, I sometimes use a strategy with my students called Before But Now. In this strategy, students share a little about what they thought before and then complete the statement with But Now takeaways. So I'm going to use the same strategy here tonight. Before I went to Austin, I thought that choices at our capital were being made by good guys and bad guys, that you were either for public education or you were against it. But now I recognize that it's really not that simple. The issues facing public education are multifaceted and complex. Because we had the time and space to sit down with our elected officials and converse with them, we got a real feel for the human element of our governing body. It became apparent that our representatives were eager to better understand the issues, challenges, and needs of our education system so they could make informed decisions regarding the future of Texas. Our lawmakers are busy. They juggle many issues, all of which are important, and what they have to know is expansive. They cannot be experts on everything, but the best lawmakers seem to know how to listen. We talk a lot about using our teacher voice to advocate for our classrooms and students. Before I went to Austin, I felt like using my teacher voice was limited to my vote. But now, I realize that our legislators need to hear from us beyond the ballot box. We can call, text, write, but perhaps more powerfully, we can share our stories. My favorite part about the trip was sharing stories about the magic that happens in our classrooms each day. We had a diverse group of educators, elementary, middle, and high school, teachers who teach special needs students, and teachers who teach our advanced learners, newer teachers and more experienced teachers. But we had one thing in common. We all love all of our students, and we all know firsthand the beauty of what can happen in our public schools. I think that we all left understanding the importance of sharing those stories, not just with our legislators, but within our immediate communities as well. We can and should leverage social media, conversations, and community events to share the good news about public school. Before our Austin trip, I thought our legislators were out of reach, but now I realize they are within our reach, and we must cultivate relationships with them. We learned that advocating for public education is not a one-time event. It's an ongoing process, and we are excited to continue to share the real narrative of the magic that happens in LISD. So thank you so much for the opportunity to go to Austin and learn more about what it really means to use our teacher voice. And now, Doug.
Well, I thought it was going to be a good idea to go second, but after that, what she said. But first, on behalf of the whole group that went, extreme thank you for all of us. It was a very great learning opportunity and stuff. Just wanted to touch on a couple of key points that Mandy was talking about there. They were extremely busy, and they managed to take out 15 minutes for each of our representatives to talk to our group. We did make the most of that time that we could, because as soon as we sat down, one of their staffers were right there at the door ready to pull them away at any opportunity. But they were very professional, and they did want to hear everything we had to say with them. So we made sure all of our stories and everything, told them all the amazing things that LISD is doing in the classrooms and stuff. As she mentioned, they're not experts, and actually a couple of the representatives did tell us that we're not experts in public education and stuff. And so as a group, as a whole, we started trying to persuade them to start coming out to our classrooms, because we all feel that if we can get them into our classrooms and actually see what we're doing, we will be able to change a lot of their minds about some of the issues that they feel public education is facing. And so, as a group as a whole, we actually still have our group chat that we created from the group, from the trip, and it is still very lively. As I am standing here to you, right here in front of you, my pocket is buzzing. So everyone is very excited about next steps and moving forward and continuing on this path, with LISD and everything. So we definitely appreciate the opportunity and stuff. I think one of the biggest things I know a lot of us learned, me especially, that talking with Dr. Rapp while we were down there was, we have to work with them as a partner and stuff. Getting on social media and trying to berate them is not going to do anything. But working together as a partner so we can actually win some hearts and minds and everything, hopefully get that allotment up. Is the big goal for us and what we kept steering them back to and everything. So we don't know if we made a big impact during this session, but we're already preparing for the next session. So as soon as they're out, we already have game plans and motives and stuff to hopefully make a difference next time around. But no, thank you guys for the opportunity. To the new school board members, congratulations, welcome. You'll definitely see a lot more of us in this group. So,
and Doug, I'm going to have each one of you all say when you won Teacher of the Year, and then Mr. Willie is working on his superintendent internship. And so he traveled there with us as well, and I'm always so thankful for people that are working to be future superintendents. So Doug, tell us when you won Teacher of the Year, what year?
I'm the 2019 Teacher of the Year. I am the Auto Tech instructor for Tech East.
I'm Heather Lewis, and I teach at Etheridge Elementary, and I was Teacher of the Year in 2010.
Hey y'all, good evening. Alexis Miller, and I'm representing Southridge Elementary. I'm Teacher of the Year 2020.
And State Teacher of the Year finalist in the year 2020.
I'm Peggy Hill. I work at Rockbrook Elementary. I'm a special needs teacher working with functional life skills students, and I was Teacher of the Year last year, 2022.
And I'm Mandy McKnight, teach at Briar Hill Middle School, Gifted and Talented Program, and I was Teacher of the Year in 2017, and then Region 11 Teacher of the Year as well.
Awesome. So proud of all of you. Thank you so much for sharing that and just sharing your takeaways. I was so proud of their stories. And Bradley is superintendent intern.
Hi, y'all. I'm Bradley Willie, superintendent intern working on my doctorate in educational leadership. So,
yay. And assistant principal. Yes. All right. Thank you all so much for being here and sharing that. Appreciate you tons. All right. Y'all are. Thank you. All right, just a few more things when it comes to connection. Of course, I finished out the year with some lunches with Lori's. We've met with our brand ambassadors, and one of the things that Dr. Miller's been doing is she's been sharing action alerts with both our brand ambassadors and our key communicators. I've finished out this year meeting with my high school student advisory. We had our last meeting today. I met with students from Hebron 9th, and I've been loving hosting students to this building. And if you recently saw, we had the Be Beautiful Student Club of female girls. Of course, that's double. I didn't need to say that, both those things. But nonetheless, female leaders from Briar Hill Middle School here to interact with female leaders within our building as well. And then, as I mentioned, I had my last meeting with our key communicators, superintendent parent advisory, supper with the superintendent, and met with the council of PTAs. And then for connection with the community, I closed out this year with a Rotary Group's combined luncheon and my Business Advisory Council. And Rajiv, who's on that Business Advisory Council, is here and going to be part of our One Vision Task Force update as well. And then for communication, we still see good open rates for the wrap-up and the rapport. The top clicks in the rapport were 2023 graduation information and my video and election guidelines and legislative priorities. And then when it comes to culture, I'm very pleased to celebrate, we just released this publicly, that we were named to Forbes Best Employers for Diversity list. We were the only school district in Texas to be recognized on that list. And then around the Ville, of course, everyone can always visit our website for amazing stories about what we have going on, that our communications team works hard with our campuses to get out there. Etheridge Elementary got a surprise donation from Southwest Airlines, which was awesome. Of course, our Tech East video game designers providing edutainment, and then our school nurses participating in the amazing fundraiser with PD Place. And then our Recognize Someone that I'm so very proud of. We had over 3,100 submissions this year. I just think what we can do in the coming years with having a full school year to launch that program. And so I look forward to continuing to spread recognition across our school district. And that's the superintendent update.
Thank you, Dr. Rapp. Next up is public comments are next on the agenda. Those who wish to speak at board meetings often expect a dialogue with the Board of Trustees. However, in accordance with Texas law, the board is not able to respond directly to comments or questions posed by speakers. Texas law also does not allow the board to discuss or take action on any issue presented during the public forum unless the item has already been posted for action on the meeting agenda. Each speaker will receive a written follow-up from the district in the next 3 business days. The board and district administration values the feedback shared during this time of the meeting, and we are grateful for the continued partnership between LISD and the communities we serve. Lewisville ISD stakeholders, meaning current students, parents, employees, and residents of Lewis ISD, will have a maximum of 3 minutes for their presentation. I have one speaker tonight, Mr. Dan Kissing. Classing, I'm so sorry. I should have put on my glasses. I really need to put on my glasses, sorry.
I attended the candidate forum a few weeks ago and was disturbed by some of the comments by one of the candidates. She noted the racial mix of students in the district and the racial mix of those disciplined, and said that the difference is a problem needing fixing by the board. I don't think she gave a name to the problem or the fix, but President Obama, Vice President Joe Biden, and Secretary of Education Arne Duncan had a name for it: restorative justice. I've got another name for it: discipline by racial quota. I'd like to remind you of another district disciplined by restorative justice. You may remember hearing about it on the news. There were many other deficiencies that led to the outcome, but discipline by racial quota was the first big cause. Their superintendent from Obama and Duncan's Chicago took the job in Florida and led his district to do restorative justice really well. A male student with a Hispanic surname in middle school repeatedly threatened to kill his classmates and teachers. In high school, he was frisked every day, escorted from class to class by security, and was not allowed to carry a backpack. Police were called to his home 45 times. He punched his adoptive mother's teeth out. His mental health professionals were concerned when a hatchet was reported missing from his garage. But they mainstreamed him into regular classes. Never a suspension, never an expulsion, never an arrest, which would have prevented him from buying the AR-15 when he turned 18. Background checks do no good if violent conduct isn't reported to the system. 17 students and faculty weren't able to attend graduation from Marjorie Stoneham Douglas High School in 2018. 17 sets of parents nursed their children back to physical health. But how many parents of Parkland, Florida, are still dealing with their mental health? The district, funded by tax money from its citizens, paid the victim's family $25 million. Most of you have students in the district, as do many of the people that were behind me a little while ago. I hope you don't have to take your child to a doctor's office or visit your child in the hospital or plan a funeral due to discipline by racial quota.
Thank you, Mr. Classing. Since we have no further speakers, we will move on to the consent agenda. Are there any board members who have an item to pull? Dr. Bonner.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Ms. President. I would like to pull number 3, letter C, item 10. Please.
Thank you. Yeah. Anything else? Do I have a motion to approve the other items for consideration? Ms. Sells.
I move that the board approve consent agenda items other than 3C10 as recommended by administration.
Do I have a second? Dr. Bonner. All those in favor, raise your hand. Passes 7-0. Dr. Bonner, would you like to speak to L3C10, Safety and Security Vehicles Cooperative Contract?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I wanted it pulled for a couple of reasons. One, I wanted to be able to enter into the record just some additional items that the district supports for student safety, A. And B, I wanted to bring it out particularly at this point of the year, given our budget process and where we are and how we're spending money in areas of great importance to us. So, Dr. Rapp, can you just fill that in just a little bit?
Yes, thank you, Dr. Bonner. I'm going to ask Mr. Garrett to come up to the podium and just speak about, to your first question, Dr. Bonner, speak about the use of these security vehicles and how they will help prepare us for a reunification strategy and what we do to prepare for reunification and along with our K-9 unit. And then for the second half of the question, I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Maloney.
Sure. Is this working? So I guess tonight's a great night for us to announce we have a new endeavor that we're starting up, which is the LISD K-9 detection program that will be in place for next school year. One of the main changes for that is the ability to transport the dog. And so we have one all-wheel drive SUV that we've been able to use the last 2 winter breaks, or winter storms, I should say. And we are transferring that into a K-9 capacity. So that's going to be basically with the dog at all times. At that point, we don't have the ability to tow the reunification trailer, which is a trailer that's located here. It's equipped with everything we need to operate a reunification site, and that's in those scenarios, I would say at the worst case scenario, where we have to relocate a school to another location and have basically hundreds or thousands, depending on the type of school, to where we have to reunify in a controlled and orderly manner. So everything that we need is in there: signs, clipboards, office supplies, generator, chairs. We have to prepare for even not having the tables that we set up, so we have folding tables in there. When those are located, or when we activate a reunification plan at numerous pre-designated locations across the district, we have to get the trailer there. And of course, with that heavily loaded, we did have the SUV vehicle, but of course with that, the weight is high, and we were already kind of bordering to where we may have to find other utility trucks that can do that for us. having it in the department, even better. Not only does that having to play, but winter weather for us is a huge thing. As you know, well, most of the district is anxiously awaiting a district closure. We are out there driving before anyone else is out there, and what changed for us was in 2021 when that vehicle 305 got in. Having all-wheel drive capability for us makes us feel a lot safer. We were out there in our own personal vehicles for a few years. We were out there in sedans that did not have traction, and it was frankly unsafe for staff. So we had a great use for that all-wheel drive, and we would just like to continue having that capability, as the one vehicle we have is now K-9 transport for next year.
All right, thank you, Mr. Garrett. So that speaks, I think, Dr. Bonner, to the safety and security needs that have been identified for these vehicles. And then another key thing about these items coming forward for the second half of the question, you know, we obviously have made budget reductions in order to close our deficit. And so items such as these are the critical items that allow us to support our staff safely, have good safety and security needs in place. But as you all know, with our recapture payment going up, along with for next fiscal year, even our basic allotment not going up, and we're doing a 15% across the board budget non-payroll cut, things like this are just those critical needs. And so, Ms. Maloney, you want to address anything else regarding Dr. Bonner's other half of his question?
No, I think we'll be covering that in the monthly financials tonight. As you said, we have made some cuts at the central office level, $7 to $9 million, and very grateful to the team for digging deep into that and looking at a 15% cuts to central office budgets for next year. Our recapture payment, due to the decrease in ADA, that slight decrease, and then very worried about attendance this last 6 weeks, quite frankly, with the events that have happened recently. That recapture payment is going up. So we'll talk a little bit in the financials about, of course, that ESSER offset, and then another opportunity that we possibly could have to use some land sale funds to offset some of those expenditures.
Thank you.
Dr. Bonner, would you like to make a motion?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I move that the board approve consent item 3C, L3C10 as recommended by administration.
Ms. Sells, second. All those in favor? Passes 7-0. Next up, we have information items. Ms. Maloney, you are up with the hazardous traffic conditions and areas for the 2023-2024 school year.
Thank you, President Prosnick, Dr. Rapp, members of the board. I'm going to call Mr. Turner to the podium for this item.
Good evening, President Prosnick, Dr. Rapp, members of the board. Annually, we do typically present the list of hazardous traffic conditions and areas to the board if needed for your consideration. This year it's actually an information item because most recently it was approved last May, and with no attendance zone or boundary changes being made for the upcoming school year, there are no recommendations to change the current list of hazardous traffic conditions. So with that, once Skyward rolls up over the summer, we will make a letter that we send out through Skylert to all the families that are impacted once they're attached to their current school year, to their current campus for the upcoming school year. I'll make sure to notify the board once we've sent that information out to those families through one of the weekly updates to you guys. And with no changes to the areas, there's no action required on your part this year. I'm happy to take any questions about it.
Any comments, questions? Thank you so much. Next up, we have Mr. Colbeck with our monthly technology report.
Thank you, Ms. Prosnick. This is a monthly technology report for new members on the board. Essentially, there's an infographic and board book that shows several different key metrics that we track regarding technology. In the upper left of your attachment, you'll see our remaining 2017 technology bond funds. I do want to point out that this report is as of 2/28, so this is the end of February. There's about 14 million. At that time, there's about 14.1 million remaining in those funds. We have purchased some additional technology since then, so that current balance is actually lower as of today. Also on our IFE, as a reminder, that's actually our fee for 1 to X program for grades 4 through 12. Our revenue comes in early in the year as we open up our back-to-school forms, and then our expenses start catching up with that. So I'm expecting that to this year outpace what our actual revenues are as our technology gets older, which leads into the item on the right side of the page where it shows our device ages. You'll see our grades 4 through 12 are starting to approach that 4-year mark. On average, our teacher devices are approaching that 5-year mark. On the second page, I want to point out, I'm not going to go over all the metrics, but I do want to point out one that's very interesting. The devices on campus is up 93.3%. So what that represents is students that participate in the 1-to-X program, our average daily devices on campus are over 93%. And I think part of what we're seeing there, specifically in February and in March, our campuses, I think we're starting to try to really ramp up in preparation for online testing, asking students to bring the devices, check to make sure everything's working, run updates, make sure the keyboard's working. Again, I also want to point out for new members on the board, I know everybody else has heard this, but when we look at categorical usage, it's showing as we capture this data, we're capturing that through our log data and our filtering. It's showing 54% of our total traffic is in that education category, but we also have what's called dynamic safe listing. So that's essentially media-rich content that'd be launched directly from, let's say, a link in Canvas or sites that we want content like that to come from. So if you add that percentage plus the educational category, around 78% of total usage is in that education category. And on the bottom of that graph, you'll see the orange represents home and blue represents school. And the average daily bandwidth for each student is around 168 meg. So again, this data suggests the devices that are in our 1-to-X program, grades 4 through 12, are being used at school as well as at home for education purposes.
Thank you, Mr. Colbeck. Dr. Rapp, you're up for our board meeting dates.
Okay, so thank you, Madam President. You have your board meeting dates in board book. We noted a few dates with conflicts where we've chosen an alternative date. For the most part, the meetings are held as scheduled regularly on the second Monday of each month, minus those 3 conflicts due to spring break and Columbus Day, and then an attempt to avoid the collegiate national championship. And that's your board meeting dates.
Any questions? All right, you're up again. It's the One Vision Task Force. He's been waiting all night.
I know, Rajiv, come on up. I'm so pleased to have Rajiv here to share with you. He also participated in being part of our video series that we have, and so we're launching a video with each recap. And, you know, one of the things I think that it's just important to recall, and Rajiv will speak to this in just a second, but we've had a long process to get here, from our facility assessment document to our facility walks and our technology advisory committee. The committee learned about all the different processes that we have in place for planning purposes in the school district. And we know this has been a process we started back in December to get us through to today. The agenda for meeting 2, which we just had, was basically they took a deep dive into a recap from the 2017 bond, and then Jason and Randy really were the subject matter experts for that meeting and talked about the facilities assessment study, construction costs, and our projects. And so, Rajiv, if you'll go ahead and speak to your takeaways from the meeting. I'm going to let you go ahead and go before I finish up those slides.
Sure, no problem. And first of all, thank you all so much. It's always energizing when I come to an LISD event. The amount of love and effort y'all pour into our students and community is just incredible. And so I'm deeply thankful on behalf of parents and everybody in the community for all that all of y'all do. It's incredible. I'm also glad that my kids are too young to win anything, because I'd have been ugly crying the entire night. I get choked up thinking about it. In terms of the One Vision Task Force, it's a really impressive group of 80 people from our community that came together. And I found it very fascinating. We had grandparents in the room. We had existing parents, faculty members. And if you're wondering how I got involved, it's actually because my wife is an LISD alumni and a Hall of Famer at Hebron High School. And so it was in our marriage contract that I had to be part of the school district. when I think about what we've been charged to do, it's pretty interesting, right? We've been come together to put together a strategy and a plan for this bond to present to y'all. But I actually think it's much deeper than that. When I was thinking about it, I was looking at those words on the wall behind you. And it's how do you put together a package that can unlock real innovation for the future, but also enable our students and our faculty to meet these limitless opportunities head on. And I think the first two meetings we've had were a great start to doing just that. The group was given a good grounding in the financials and the complexities, frankly, of funding public school education in 2023. I think a lot of us were surprised with the nuances of it. And then the second meeting was equally interesting on the complexities of how do you actually prioritize within those budgets. And I think all of us had a deeper appreciation for not only all the work that you do, but what we've been tasked for. And what comforts me, I've been volunteering at LISD now for 7 years in various formats, but I've actually served education for about 15 years professionally. And I must say that the leadership, starting with you, Dr. Rapp, and everybody here, I think every parent and community member should be comfortable in what we're able to do. And I think what we'll have at the end of this long, arduous journey, as you saw the dates we're meeting, is a right bond package for what LASD needs to future-proof the district for our students. So I'm very excited to be a part of it. I think we've got a great task force enabled, and I appreciate y'all giving me the opportunity to be a small part of that journey. Do you want me to add anything else? I got a microphone. I'm dangerous.
Yeah, don't go too far because they might have questions, so don't go too far. But I also see Kylene back there. Kylene is on our task force as well. And, we really are excited about the energy in the room every time we get together. Everybody's excited about what they're learning and taking away. We had optional school finance sessions. I appreciate Ms. Maloney arranging 2 opportunities for a deeper dive into school finance. We had an optional field trip. I appreciate Brian Colbeck and Adrian Gall for doing a great job and talking about how learning is different with technology in the classrooms today. And then Matt got to talk, of course, about safety and security and take them into the 24/7 center we have here and the teachers and staff at Vickery and Tech West and Marcus 9. Y'all would have been just really so very proud of that day with how they communicated about learning. And then Ms. Maloney, you want to take this slide away about we talked long and hard about a one-pager related to school finance. So talk a little bit about this one.
Yes, I call this the Candyland slide, but it really is a part of our journey. And where you see the school bus right down there right before meeting 2, that was where we were in that journey before we went to meeting 2 for facilities and construction. And we'll be at the Colony High School at the 3rd meeting to take a deep dive into athletics, fine arts, and safety and security. And then you can see you follow that all the way around till we get into those Build-A-Bond activities. And then we'll be here in August. Hopefully the committee will be able to present to you something for your consideration.
All right, and then of course Rajiv gave his perspective as a community member. One of the things that I think is important, we presented on this in meeting 2, was looking at the landscape of surrounding us of bond elections and looking at what just had recently passed. The yellow passed in November, the blue passed in May of 2023, and you can see how many school districts right around us have been able to pass bonds, very sizable bonds. And you think about those numbers, it can be a little staggering, but ultimately when you look at a district like ours and the great management and stewardship of our finances that we have, if you were to issue all of $1 billion worth of debt at one time, you still could do that and not have to raise the tax rate. Ms. Maloney, you want to say anything else from your takeaways on this slide?
No, exactly. What the red line actually represents how much you can go up to the 50-cent rate. We, of course, are not going to do that. Our line is at the 38 cents. And again, we would never issue $1 billion all at one time. But if you did, you can see that we would not go above the tax rate. And one thing that I would say, that does not even include the opportunities that we have in 23-24 to defease even more payout. Well, hopefully, if the legislature doesn't take that right away from us, that we would be able to have even more capacity there.
And one of the things that Randy talked to them about in his segment was just the how inflation is impacting. Why are these bond packages that we're surrounded by, why are those dollar values so large when you think about it? And you look at the change in the price of gas, the price of milk, but for a building to do a $30 million building in 2017, that would cost you $45 million now, and so that's 50% change, right? So he gave some really great examples. We see that this was the Memorial STEM Academy. So we built it in 2021. The cost per square foot was $300. It cost us $35 million. If we were to build that building today, it would cost over $51 million. Right? If you look at Parkway Elementary, a great example of a school where we did the 20-year life cycle, just maintenance and repairs at that campus, that was $107 per square foot, $8 million for that 20-year life cycle. If we did that same work today, it would be $146 a square foot, over $10 million. So there's definite increases that we shared with the community that are impacting the size of bond packages that school districts are putting out there. They talked about 3 different types of categories of projects: full campus 20-year maintenance, repair, and life cycle replacement; partial campus 20-year maintenance, repair, and life cycle; and then places where we have specific building component replacement because of the facilities assessment document. And then what we're putting together each time are these maps that you see to show how many campuses across the district would be impacted by projects that we've been discussing. The fulls are labeled with Fs. Those are the full 20-year maintenance and life cycle, and then P are those partials. And so we're starting to show all the work that's needed there across our school district. And while we were there, so we've been moving around locations with the committee because we want them to see different buildings in different status and shapes around the district. So we were at Durham. So we built into that time. We built in time to move around Durham, and we went to classrooms, we went to a science lab, we went to the library, and we're going to be working that format into when we go to the Colony High School next. And so each time we close our presentations with the task force with key takeaways. And our key takeaways from this meeting were basically that, our 2017 bond included 150 different projects, totaled $737.5 million, and it included those critical upgrades: safety and security, life cycle, maintenance, repair, CTE, fine arts, athletics, and technology. And all work was completed within the approved voter budget and a third-party audit, which we told the One Vision Task Force, you all have been committed as a board to launching internal audits that have talked about how we're doing our facilities and construction work, and that audit showed that our construction program utilizes best practices. Our facilities assessment study provides that objective data for planning, and that document, of course, we house publicly on our website for anybody to look at. And then the key takeaway around inflation: if we planned for the same exact projects that we did in the 2017 bond, the cost today would be well over $1 billion. And our proposed projects come from assessment scores based on the facilities assessment study. We're looking at what would be needed in the next 5-year planning window, and also just that our facilities team was noted in that internal audit as having really strong recommended best practices. We have our communication that goes out, our meeting to recap, bond update subscribers get all of those updates straight to their inbox. We also will share the recap in my report that will go out this week as well. And all of our information for all the committee meetings is on the website. We are trying to be sure that we educate as many people about what we're taking a look at. And so with that, I'll close it up. And if you've got any questions you'd like to ask Rajiv, I'll let him answer those.
Thank you so much for serving on the committee.
Thank you.
Next up is our discussion items. Ms. Maloney with the monthly financial report, including bond report and the monthly investment summary.
Thank you, President Prosnick, Dr. Rapp, members of the board. We are bringing to you the unaudited monthly financials for the month ending March 31st. That's 7 months into our fiscal year. At this time, we have collected well over $500 million. I will go down and we'll look at the expenditures for now. We are projecting a $6 to $7 million savings in the payroll, but as you know, our recapture payment is going to be north of $60 million based on the ADA that's coming in right now. We are able to we've been working on those $7 to $9 million cuts at the central office level, but because of the revenue shortfall and the taxes that we've talked about previously, we will have to utilize that ESSER offset, and we are already looking at the land sale proceeds, using some of those things to offset that deficit. Now that we have our new board in place, we'll be forming that CE local policy to explore our fund balance in the future and things like that. So that'll all be a part of that. And as I wrote to you in board notes this past week, if we were to consider the pursuance of the additional Tier 2, M&O Tier 2 funding, you would have to do an efficiency audit, and that would be done at audit time when Whitley Penn is here as a part of that as a routine. So I wrote to you about that this last time. And we'll be talking about that at the June work session. In the Child Nutrition Fund, every time I come into there and to see the expenditures, I'm like, why do we not have expenditures? But today when I said, what are the real, we are really starting to pick up those expenditures for that spend down plan. So hopefully this summer in these financials, we'll start to see some of those things. On the debt service side, the only payment that we have made to date is our interest payment that we made in February. Got final numbers on our, just an FYI, on our defeasance package, and that'll be something that we'll want to talk about when we in the legislative update in a little bit. Ending total savings $77 million, about $62 million as a part of our defeasance, and $13.6 million savings to the taxpayer on that program. So we'll get that out to you in the update this week. But just an outstanding deal for the district, probably one of the best ones we've had in a long time. I always call your attention on the federal funds, the ESSER money, down halfway down the page that is dwindling out. We will be using a large portion of that to offset this year's deficit. And you're becoming familiar with that construction report. You can see that we have some uncommitted construction, so we'll have more fall into that as we have some savings. On the investment side, I always track back, $3.1 million in the month of March. Last March, it was $153,000. So just those interest rates are really going to help us this year, and I suspect that they're really going to help us next year for the fiscal year 24. And we've got our T-bill reports there, and that is the monthly financials.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry. Dr. Rapp, you are up with our 88th legislative session update.
All right, well, we're going to tag team this, so Ms. Maloney will take some pieces, and I think Dr. Fitzhugh is going to speak to some pieces as well. But basically, our timeline from now, the last day for the committees to report out House bills was May 8th. The last day, again, for third reading was May 12th. The last day for chambers to pass bills, except for those concurring in amendments or conference committee, is May 24th, and then the last day of the session is May 29th. So what does it look like is happening this week? We know today the House Public Education Committee was hearing Senate Bill 8 about education savings accounts, which of course are vouchers. The House Ways and Means Committee will talk more in a few slides about y'all's letter on Senate Bill 1814. And then the House Public Education Committee hearing Senate Bill 814. We'll talk a little bit about that, making the state open to transfers, kids going anywhere they want to any school district. And then we're expecting a committee substitute for House Bill 11 in the Senate, which would eventually become the Senate school finance proposal. We know it got very interesting with Senate Bill 8, and we've seen these last-minute ties to basically getting rid of STAR in order to also work in some negotiations around those vouchers and education savings accounts. The committee substitute actually changed over the weekend, And then the comptroller management of those education savings accounts or vouchers would be through certified educational assistance organizations. It took qualifying students to special education and F-rated campuses. So students would qualify for those accounts coming from special education services and then the F-rated schools. And then Governor Abbott, of course, released a press statement yesterday about a special session being possible if the House version of Senate Bill 8 did not look more like the original version of Senate Bill 8, which sounds kind of weird to say. But so, Dr. Fitzhugh, give some thoughts on Senate Bill 8 when it comes to assessment and accountability.
So what we've been able to tell so far is the good part of it is that they are suggesting that they remove graduation requirements tied to STAR. So that would be good for our high school students in terms of graduation. But the rest of it really just kind of shifts naming. It doesn't really change a whole lot in terms of our reality with STAR. So the assessment changes. Basically, we're going to have more assessments. They just won't be called STAR. So 3rd through 8th grade assessments, they're going to be called through-year assessments. We're going to give them 3 times a year instead of once. So the accountability won't be just based on one assessment. It'll be based on the 3. But our students will be testing more often. It does remove the 8th grade social studies. At the high school level, we're going to increase from 5 to 6 assessments, basically, with the first set being a pre-TSIA that the Texas Higher Ed Coordinating Board will design, and that'll be for 9th grade with a math and ELA focus. Then in 11th grade, there'll be a second, which is the existing, they might do some tweaks to it, but a TSI type assessment that's math and ELA. The biology will still remain because it's part of federal requirements, and U.S. history will still stay as well. Additionally, they've worked in some verbiage that allows or mandates that the commissioner adjust CCMR rates and what is the expected performance level. I think it's every 4 years until we get to be the top 5 in the nation. And so there's some interesting pieces because Texas decides how we define CCMR. It's not a nationwide definition that we use. So there was a lot of talk about us changing the CCMR cut points this year, and the commissioner's response to that was, well, legislatively, y'all have told me to do that. That was his interpretation. So now we're working it in explicitly into legislation, so that way he has to do it. So those are the assessment tidbits that I've picked up in terms of what's been changed and altered at this point.
All right, and then when it comes to Senate Bill 1814, Ms. Maloney worked to draft a letter that we're going to ask that you all read onto the record. Ms. Maloney, before we do that, you want to talk about the points on this slide?
Yes, so Senate Bill 1814 prevents the school districts from adopting a debt rate any higher than the minimum amount required to service the debt payment. And so it would take away the ability to do what we've just done this year to pay off debt early and save the taxpayer money. There is an amendment that was filed and allowed that a district can adopt a higher rate if 60% of the board voted to do so in a public meeting. And it looks like it's pretty prescriptive, like you would have to come in there and say what your tax rate would be if you were just going to pay out your debt payment, and then you'd have to say what you were going to keep your tax rate at and what you were going to do with that money. We already, through our debt management policy, tell our public what we're going to do with that extra collections. So it's confusing as if this is actually going to do what they say it's going to do, because it limits conservative practices in debt management as LISD is established in our debt management policy. So I think at the end of this update, we're going to turn it over to Dr. Rapp, and we're going to read this letter on record. This is a bill that we haven't really been talking about, and all of a sudden it makes its way this week, and it's that transfer bill. It's going to be heard in public ed on Tuesday, eliminating local school district transfer policies and replacing transfer policies with a state policy. So that would make Texas an open enrollment state. School district boundaries and attendance zones do not determine where a child enrolls. This is a pretty enormous change statewide. I think that, I'm not going to just speak for LISD, but it could likely produce some unintended consequences for districts across the state, both rural and urban, when you get into something like this. if what it has in there is if there's capacity at a school, if there's not capacity at a school, you would have a lottery with priority, and it's an extensive list of what would be the priority of who would get to go to the school. So we'll be interested to see how that turns out tomorrow. But this is the big news here. The school finance bill in the Senate, they did not hear House Bill 100, and they are not going to hear House Bill 100. So it looks like the Senate's going to add a school funding elements to House Bill 11. That's the Dutton bill. That was first, I think it was with teacher rights, but they're redoing it. It's probably going to become the finance bill, and I think it's going to be the vehicle to push all new funding. That our advocacy piece we need to push all that new funding into the basic allotment to address our inflationary and cost drivers. We know that there's 3.5 allotted in there, and then possibly 5 if they pull the school safety money over. So we know the money is already there, and so our big advocacy push through the next 2 weeks is going to be, let's not do these one-offs, let's put it all in the basic allotment to help schools address these costs, rising costs.
All right, so if we we'll address the letter that you all have signed, and we will get that sent off. And of course, as always, we're putting all this communication on our website and working to send action alerts out to staff, and we, of course, all of us here collectively to communicate with our elected officials regularly.
All right. This is the letter we are sending to Representative Myers and members of the House Ways and Means Committee. The state of Texas does not provide for the building or life cycle repair and maintenance of school facilities. Therefore, districts are required to seek voter approval for bond initiatives for this purpose. The district relies on the interest in seeking portion of the adopted tax rate to pay for these bonds. We are not in support of Senate Bill 1814, since the updated language serves only to make an already confusing tax adoption process even more difficult for taxpayers to understand, and would directly impede the district's ability to upgrade our schools for safety and security and critical maintenance and infrastructure needs, along with addressing the legislative unfunded mandates districts are struggling to pay for. In 2017, Lewisville ISD voters approved a $737 million bond package, which included a ceiling for the district's interest in seeking tax rate not to exceed 45 cents. And LISD has been able to adopt a lower tax rate each year, in part due to sound financial management. Our current rate of 0.3809, nearly 7 cents less than the ceiling agreed upon when passing the 2017 bond. We are currently working with local citizens on a One Vision task force to determine the district's needs for future facility life cycle maintenance and repairs, technology upgrades, and safety and security upgrades. Effective debt management would allow us to seek additional bonds without increasing the INS tax rate. The Board of Trustees annually approves the INS tax rate in order to pay for the future bond payments. With support from district staff and financial advisors, the Board adopts an INS rate annually that provides for the following year's bond payments. Any surplus collection are used to take advantage of opportunities for cash refundings or defeasances if they are in the best interest of LISD taxpayers, all as a part of the district's local debt management policy. LISD has a history of excellent debt management. We have the highest credit rating possible for public entities from both Fitch, AA, AAA, PPS Enhanced, and Standard & Poor's AA+, AAA, PPS Enhanced. In addition, LISD bonds are sold with a 20-year maturity rate in comparison to most districts who sell bonds with a 30-year maturity rate. As part of our debt management strategy, LISD often seeks to refund or defease bonds as allowable by law and as opportunities present themselves in the bond market. This allows us to decrease the overall tax burden for citizens and provide significant tax savings over the life of the bonds. The strategy has allowed us to save LISD taxpayers over $139 million in principal reductions and over $19 million in interest savings since 2014. The new language in Senate Bill 1814 would limit the district's ability to continue to maximize resources on behalf of taxpayers. We advocate against those voting on this new INS language. Between the contrasting INS language in Senate Bill 1814, the no new revenue tax rate, and the truth in taxation requirements, the tax adoption language can no longer be considered transparent for the citizens in LISD. With appreciation for your service in the great state of Texas, it has been signed by every member of this board. Does anybody want to add? All right. Next, we have district-wide intruder detection audit report and findings. Mr. Garrett?
Good evening. Different from prior months, this list is a little bit different. We've had all the audits completed through May, so we're just going to read them all out tonight instead of bringing them to you in June. So far in April and May, we have had Castle Hills Elementary, Central Elementary, Donald Elementary, Etheridge Elementary, Forest Vista Elementary, Highland Village Elementary, Parkway Elementary, Pulsar Elementary, Rockbrook Elementary, Southridge Elementary, Wellington Elementary, Creek Valley Middle School, Downing Middle School, Forestwood Middle School, Hedrick Middle School, McCamey Middle School, Shadow Ridge Middle School, and Marcus High School. Any of those findings have come out from those have already been addressed prior to this board meeting, and we have been told by the state that we do not expect any more audits for the rest of the school year. So that is the end of this process for us this year, and I'll take any questions.
Anybody? If there is no further business, this meeting is adjourned. The time is 9:12 p.m. Good night.